What's up everybody, I'm Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA. Today I'm going to answer your questions, reply to your comments. So thank you very much to all you guys and girls who are leaving comments. Actually, I think it's 100% guys, let's be real, but thank you to everybody who's leaving a comment. Wanted to just share a few of the most interesting ones here and give you my 2 cents. So in no particular order, first comment / question from Kai London. He asked, what did you think of Lil Peep? What I think of Lil Peep is that he was super fucking talented and also super fucked up. I mean, it was crystal clear just from looking at him that he was not just putting on an act of being like edgy, you know, rock star guy. He was fucked up and he was dealing with some really serious shit. It was just instantly clear to me the second I saw the Witchblades video, which is a fucking awesome song. I'm really upset that's not on Spotify. I'm guessing there's a sample in it that's not cleared or something, but man, that's a fucking banger. Anyway, it was just super clear to me in like 1 second because I just have this weird power because I've been around fucked up dysfunctional people my whole life. I just have this ability to like instantly see inside someone's soul, and what you see in him is unfortunately a lot of serious fucking trouble. He is a perfect example of how so often people who are super talented also have super bad problems, and unfortunately I was right. When I saw him I was like, dude, this kid is in trouble. He's gonna end up dead or in jail for possession like sooner rather than later, and unfortunately I was right. I did not know him, never met him, but we did have a couple of mutual friends and heard he was a super nice kid. So always sad to see somebody go, especially that young. Next, a couple comments on the video I did about the Devil Wears Prada and the 10th anniversary of the Roots Below and Branches Above album. In that video, I talked about this like really funny, predictable cycle of how bands come out and are initially hated and they're thought of as like poser bullshit for little kids who hang at the mall or whatever, and then magically around the 10-year mark, then they become real music in the eyes of people with quote-unquote good taste. This happens again and again and again and again. Devil Wears Prada, a good example of it. These comments had a couple other great examples so that you can see I'm not just making this up. This is a real thing. From Cameron, same thing happened with Slipknot too. Real metalheads used to hate on them, but now everyone I know who loves heavy music loves Slipknot. 100% true, great example. From Mark Cruz, Christian bands were seen as a plague decades ago. Now you got the metal media praising bands like Norma Jean, Under Oath, Zayo as great bands and pioneers, WTF. Yep, 100%. And to be clear, I have absolutely nothing against Christian bands or anything like that. I never have, but you are 100% right. When I was a kid, like growing up, it was just completely unacceptable to be Christian at all in the like metal or hardcore scene. That changed kind of in the MySpace era, and all the stuff you're talking about is a great example of that. And again, just to be clear, I'm not religious myself, but I have absolutely no problem with Christian bands or Christian people in the scene. Okay, question from Joe Colliver on the video I did about how much bands should spend on Facebook and Instagram marketing and advertising. Hi Finn, great stuff. Question, should you target your advertising to your current audience statistics or shift to target an audience you don't already engage, e.g. 94% of listeners on Spotify are male? Should we then target more female listeners? Great question. The short answer is you should test everything. Like in marketing, if you can test something with a small amount of money, then you should do it because you never know. Oftentimes the results of those tests are not going to necessarily be what you expected. That's why you should test everything. Some things can't be tested, like album artwork. Well, even then you might be able to, but anyway, some things are harder to test than others, but this is a great example of something that's very easy to test. But in general, I don't think you can change who your fan base is for a band or a product or company or anything with some advertising dollars. Like if girls didn't like your band before, spending some money on advertising is not gonna like magically change that, you know? So if you're in a metal band, I'm sorry, girls are never gonna like your band. That's just the way it is. But in all seriousness, you know, you should try it, but think that a lot of people waste a lot of time and energy trying to like reach a new audience that's just not ever going to be receptive to them. So my advice would be, yes, test everything, but in general, focus on your current audience, make them absolutely love you, and I think you're gonna get more results from that than you will trying to move to some other new audience and then oftentimes neglect the one that got you to where you're at. So as they say, stay with the one that brought you to the dance. That's my advice. Question from Josh Blair on the same video. How could you apply this same concept if you're trying to create brand awareness rather than sell something? For instance, you're opening a business and want to get the word out. So what I was talking about is how you can like measure the exact ROI of Facebook and Instagram ads, you know that if you spend $1 and people buy $1.50 worth of products from you, then you win. Now it's a little bit different when you are just trying to generate awareness. I would say you just kind of need to use your gut here. It's one of these things where you kind of know if it's working or it's not. Like, let's say you put out a video to generate awareness for something, and if you put that video out and you get like a surprisingly large number of comments and likes and shares and stuff like that, then it's working. If you put that same video out and it's kind of like, I don't know, yeah, we're getting a little bit of traction but not much, then it's not working. It's just one of those things, sort of like the idea of product market fit, which is a term you may have heard. You can't put it in a spreadsheet, but you'll know it when you have it. So kind of a tough one. That's why brand marketing and awareness building marketing is so difficult, because you can't really quantify it in the same way. There are some kind of small metrics you could use, like cost per view or cost per engagement, stuff like that, but don't worry about that stuff. That's getting really lost in the weeds. I would say just in general, you'll know when it's working or when it's not. And you just have to be honest with yourself. And lastly, question from Brooke Johnson. This is on the same video about how much money should bands spend on Facebook or Instagram. So how would you get to that point of generating buzz for what you do before you spend money on advertising? What about a different creative service like illustration? Okay, it is a completely different ball game between what works for bands and what works for creative individuals like photographers, designers, filmmakers, illustrators, stuff like that. Completely different deal. Bands are in the entertainment industry, so they have to generate buzz. Like, that's literally their whole purpose, is generating buzz and then using that buzz to, you know, sell music or tickets or merch or whatever. Bands are in the attention business. They are in the entertainment business. It's not a songwriting contest. It is the entertainment business. A band has to be able to get people's attention. If they can't get attention, then they fucking failed. Now, that is completely different for people who are individuals who are in the creative services business. So, you know, again, if you're a photographer, a graphic designer, illustrator, something like that, it is absolutely not needed to generate buzz, because you're not in the attention business. You don't need to have a big following, like, completely not needed. All you need to do is have relationships with the right people who can hire you to do whatever you do. So there might only be 10 people on the planet that know who you are and 4 of them that follow you on Instagram. But if that's the right 10 people that know you, you can make a great living at it. Like, there's tons and tons of super successful artists and photographers and illustrators and stuff like that that have like very small social following. Another one, I talk about this guy all the time, but my friend Drew Russ, he's a video director. He's done stuff for like A Day to Remember and Beartooth and August Burns Red, a lot of big bands like that. And, you know, he has like 1,800 followers on Instagram, most of which, I'm sorry, Drew, are probably fans of A Day to Remember that just follow him because Jeremy tagged him once. So Drew does not have a big following, but he fucking crushes it. He's working with all these like top level bands and clients, and that's because he has a network. They know him personally. So if you're an individual, don't worry about advertising and buzz and all that shit. Just focus on building relationships with the people who can potentially hire you to do what you do. So, all right, guys, I hope you found that informative or entertaining or some combination of those things. If you have a question, leave it in the comments and I will get to it in another video. Thank you very much to everybody who is commenting, who's liking and sharing these videos. If you enjoy these, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel. If you're already subscribed, or for some misguided, bizarre reason you do not want to subscribe, please like, share, tag a friend, leave a comment. Whatever you can do to help spread the word would be very much appreciated. I am Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA. I'm signing off for now, but I will see you next time.